Yes, guys, hello, welcome to the Take the Wheel podcast. Bit of a weird on this one. Obviously, because of lockdown, I can't have the boys with me, so I'm flying solo on this one. So please go easy on me. Yeah, obviously, lockdown, it's not ideal for everyone. So what I'm trying to do with this, I'm trying to do a bit of a mini series. Obviously, ties over until I can see the boys again and we can get back filming in the kind of dynamic way that I know all you guys love. So this for me, unfortunately for now, you stuck with me, and this is gonna be like a mini series. So the mini series is basically gonna be little hints, tips, bits of motivation and wellness for while we're in lockdown. Just something to keep you going and make sure you're making the most of this lockdown as you can do. So obviously, with that being said, I think the first bit of advice for this from me personally be control the controllables. Obviously, with everything that's going on in the world right now, like with what's happening in America, obviously the pandemic, the vaccine. I think the first thing of all where everyone's kind of gone wrong is when the vaccine came through at the back end of last year. Everyone was like, "Yes, this is light at the end of the tunnel. Like we're gonna be out of this. Like summer's gonna be back on again." And I think everyone kind of got the hopes not too high, but I think with me as well. Like I'm guilty party here as well. They crept up, and I was like, "Yes, like it's almost done." And I think put too much hope on 2021 at the start of it being a bit of a jump. And I was like, yes, like, we're almost at this, it's going to be done. And I think so, with everything that's gone on, obviously we can't control what happens around us, the environment. We can't control how many people catch coronavirus. We can't control who says this, who does that, all that kind of stuff. But what we can do is control the controllables. And what I'm talking about there is everything that's going on in the external environment. Like, if you think about it this way, if you think you only have so much cognitive capacity per day, so just like when you have a pay-as-you-go phone, if you put £10 on that phone a month, you've only got £10 to spend over that time frame. So if you keep sending out texts, calling people, you're going to chip away at that credit. At the same, in the same kind of principle, you wake up per day and you've only got so much cognitive attention. You can only give so many fucks per day. And if you start giving them out willy-nilly about what's going on in America, who's got coronavirus, how many deaths there've been per day, and you're just outsourcing your emotions and feelings to stuff that you can't control. So obviously you're going to be drained. So I think with control the controllables, it's block everything external out and just kind of worry about what you can do in your perimeter. So have you got a morning routine? Have you got a hobby that you used to do but you no longer do it? Are you walking? Are you still calling your friends, seeing if they're all right? You're spending time with your family? And I think just by looking after that internal world and kind of blocking out everyone, not blocking out everyone, but blocking out the externals that don't really matter to you, you can't really control, it's going to bring you a bit more wellness to you. It's going to make you a bit more vitality and obviously boost the confidence as well. Because as soon as you start taking care of these things that are within your control and you start seeing these results, you're going to flourish, you're going to grow. Which brings us to our point today. We're going to talk about goals versus processes and compounding habits. So goals and processes, what I'm talking about there is obviously going into the new year, everyone's going to set goals. I did mine the other day, I've got a few goals I want to set. But the problem with goals is, no, there's a problem with them, but too many people give up on their goals because they treat goals like there's a North Star. And so let's put a value on that. You want to read 10 books this year. That's your North Star, that's your goal. One of your goals is you want to read 10 books this year. For someone that's not read before, 10 books is a lot. So that's your goal. Now, the process, this is where you take that goal and you start to break it down. So you look at 10 books and you go 10 books, right? Okay, 10 books. And then you take it away from your time frame. So you go 10 books over 12 months. And then that gives you, let's use it so it's more mathematically correct. 12 books over 12 months. You want to read 12 books in a year. So take that down. So that's a book per month. And then still, if you're looking at it, if someone goes to you, I want to read a book per month, that's still quite a big chunk. So the process, again, what we do there, break it down. So say you've got a 400-page book, You break that down by 30 days in a month. And then that gives you I'd probably say about 15 pages a day or something. I'm not really, disclaimer, I'm so bad at maths. So I'll probably give you so many pages a day. I'm not going to put a value on it because I'll get called out and I know I'm going to be wrong anyway, so I'm not backing myself. So the process there is, instead of thinking you've got 12 books to read in a year, you've got 15 pages to read in a day. And breaking down that goal into a process makes it so much more manageable. It's like meditating as well. People want to say they want to build a meditating habit and they want to meditate for half an hour a day. Don't go balls to the wall and go half an hour a day. Because trust me, you've tried to do it, it doesn't work. Start off at 5 minutes. 5 minutes 2 times a week. Do that, then bump it up to 5 minutes for 3 or 4 days the next week. And what I'm saying is the process, just these little incremental steps. Each point, you get a little win, and you're proving to yourself that you're capable of doing something. So instead of going balls to the wall and probably doing it for a few days, few weeks, but then you lose your motivation because you're not seeing goals. Like, you're not seeing results because your goal's too high. You set the bar way too high and you're just not going to achieve it yet. So by making these little processes, you can show to yourself that you've got these little steps, these little wins that can keep you going. So what I was talking about there is when you go balls to the wall and you don't see any improvements. That is called the plateau of latent potential. So if I've normally got a whiteboard here, I should have got my whiteboard up so I could draw it on. So if you think we've got a graph, X, axis, Y axis, whatever it is, told you again, bad at maths. And then you've got a diagonal line going through the middle of that. That is linear progress, which is what everyone thinks will happen once they start a habit. They think they will see improvement. It'll just go linear like that. It doesn't happen like that. What happens is it's more of a curve under and then over. So obviously, when you are practicing something new, you're not going to be great at it straight away. So you're not going to see these improvements. But the more you compound it, the more time, effort, work you put in, that's when slowly, in the back, you won't witness it. Other people might witness it, but you won't witness it. It's going to start like building up. To one point, you just see a vast improvement. And all of a sudden, you've got this new skill set, you've got this new confidence. And yeah, you like, this habit is just compounded over time until you've got an improvement. So let's put that into practice. So if you want to deadlift 200 kilogram at the end of the year, your goal is your goal is 200 kilogram deadlift by December 2021. Your process then is to break that down into each week how much weight you want to put on the bar. So what people will normally do is they'll normally go in, they'll have a good session, and they'll be like, right, I'll bump it up, I'll try to get to 200 as quick as possible. No. Break it down so you're putting a 0.25 kg, 0.5 kg on every other week, and that's the process there, is you're turning up, you're doing it not obviously every day, but you're doing it consistently, you're turning up, and then overall that's going to compound into the bigger thing. So like I said, there's little wins that are going to keep you going, because if you think from now till the end of the year, if you set yourself a goal and then you get to about May and you've got this big goal and you've had no wins yet, you're going to be like, fuck, that's a big goal, and I'm nowhere near it. But if you've broke that goal down into little incremental bits and say so we'll go back to the 12 books. So you said you want to read 12 books a month, and then using that process, you've broke it down to 12 books a year. And using that process, you broke it down to 12 books a month. So in the first instance, the goals, you haven't broke it down. You get to, let's say, April, and you've read 2.5 books. And you'd be like, shit, like, I've still got like 9.5 books to go. I've got like loads of books to go. But using the process, if you get to April and you've read 3.5, you can go, all right, I'm in April, slacking a bit now. Next month, I need to read 1.5 books to keep on track. But because you've had those 3 wins already of reading those 3 books, it's reinforced the idea that you are the kind of person that reads 12 books a year. And that's what's going to keep you going ultimately, other than being put off by this big pit hole that everyone falls into when they set themselves a big goal and they just can't accomplish it. Which, another thing as well, with compound interest, there is something called the Pareto law. The Pareto law states that 80% of what you do is achieved by 20% of the processes. So, how can we frame this one? Okay, let's frame it back into a fitness content. You want to lose 2 stone by the end of this year. That's your goal. So in the process of the Pareto law, remember, 80% of what you achieve is by 20% of your outcomes. So 20% of your outcomes could be meal prepping, getting 10,000 steps in a day, and cutting out alcohol. So that's your 20% there. The rest of the 80% could be obviously going to the gym 5 times a week, hiring a personal trainer, training with friends, accountability with friends as well, all that kind of stuff. But that 20% there that you've got solid, done, like that's your process, that can account to 80% of overall because of that weight loss. Because if you think about it, if you're meal prepping every evening, you're getting 10,000 steps in and you've cut out alcohol, that's a big chunk. Even though it seems little, that's a big chunk to your overall goals. And then as well, the final thing on this topic is going to be behavior change. So we'll go back to books again because everyone knows I love a good book, love to read. So behavior change. If you want to read 12 books per year, I keep saying per month, 12 books per year, but you've never done that before. So let's say your habit from when you used to come home or in the evening is you just sign straight onto social media and then you spend the next few hours just scrolling through social media. What we're doing with behavior change is we're saying that you change who you are to get the goals that are associated with that person. So if we want behavior change for you to read 12 books in a year, you are no longer the person that comes home and scrolls through social media. You identify as a reader, and therefore you ask yourself a question saying, if I was a reader, what would a reader do now? And the answer is that reader would read a book. And they won't scroll through social media. And this is a good way to tie back in and catch yourself when obviously you're slacking a little bit. And if you ever sat there, you're scrolling through your phone, you can catch yourself a moment and go, is this what a reader would do? If not, then pack it in. If so, then carry on. So that is going to be my first of a little mini series today. I hope you enjoyed that one. Yeah, hopefully we'll be back with the boys soon. This is a little weird one for me. Just wanted to test the waters with this one. But yeah, as always, big love for tuning in. Thank you. Enjoyed that one. Cheers, guys.